All right, let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Edition Libra Farmer Cigar Garage Talks. How's everyone doing? I am doing really good, actually. Excited for this video. This has been on my mind, well, actually for years. And I don't think I've ever shot a video about it. Well, more on that. Let's do the formalities here. First off, what are we smoking? What are we drinking? Oh, my light's going a little wonky. We have the Mayflower. Beautiful cigar there. If you don't know, if you guys are into the Daily Wire crew, there is Michael Knowles, who is one of the commentators there. Him and Matt Walsh are both Catholic, quite Catholic, actually. It's kind of fun to listen to them talk about their religion, their beliefs. And anyhow, he made his own cigar, got his own cigar, the Mayflower cigar. I picked one up. It seems since I'm talking about a pretty Catholic-heavy topic tonight, a very religious topic, of course, too. Yeah, smoking a cigar by a guy who's quite religious. Why not, right? Why not? I am actually enjoying it. If you're curious, this is a nice cigar. It feels like it's not a great construction. But I've had no issues with it. The wrapper feels really, really fine. But that was kind of nice because when I punch it, every now and then you can crack it. No cracking with the punch mark there. Nice, smooth smoke. I got the Connecticut one. You know, get what you like. The draw. Oh, amazing. Nice, smooth draw. Expensive little cigar? Yes. Did I spend $1 more than 7 or 8 than I normally? Yes. Will I get another one? Time will tell. That's a definite maybe right there. For the beer, kind of a fun one from Great Lakes Brewing. Raspberry Fudge Oatmeal Stout. Uh-oh, we might be joined here by Little Man. Hold on. Be right back. Well, we'll see if this works, but Baby Boy is with us now. Do you want to say hello? Let's get your hand in there. Whoop. Ready? Hello. I knocked my camera all asunder. How's it going, Baby Boy? You doing all right? I'm doing good. Before you all start, it's kind of actually, what a coincidence that you're joining me for this topic. Anyhow, the beer. It's actually kind of got an embossed can. It's kind of fun. Raised lettering. Raspberry Fudge Oatmeal Stout from Big Lake Brewing. Where are they out of? Holland, Michigan. I do believe I've had some of their beers before. Always willing to have another, of course. Yeah? Do you think so too? Now, before you all start yelling that I'm smoking a cigar around Baby Boy, it is very, 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 it's very rare, right? Almost never happens. We're going to do 2 pours of this one. Ooh. Ooh. That's got a lot going on in that flavor. Sorry, not a great head. I had to sip a little bit off there. Not a great head. Not really tasting the oatmeal. The raspberry is definitely there. That's for sure. Well, anyway, Baby Boy, it's so nice you joined me. We're talking about you in this video. He was upstairs chilling, but now he's with us. So let's talk about children in church, right? Specifically talking about the old biddies in church. And by biddies, I don't just mean females. Biddies can be boys or girls, because we got old biddies in our faith, in the Catholic faith. I believe it was a Baptist friend of mine. He went on to become a minister, a pastor. He would say, if your church isn't crying, it's dying. True story. If your church isn't crying, it's dying. If you don't hear kids screaming and crying and running up and down the aisles, then you're not going to have a church for very long. That's right. It's going to fall apart, isn't it? Yeah. So, granted, we've had kids and went to church for many, many years. There was a period of about 2 years, give or take, after Swedish Compass was born, where we didn't. We didn't go to church that often. We really got lax. We fell back. And a whole host of reasons, you name it. We wanted to sleep in because the kids were asleep. Just didn't feel that we were motivated to go. We'd say snowstorms. We'd say, we couldn't make the drive. Everything and then some. But then shortly after, after that, we started going a bunch, right? And taking new kids. Right after Wild and Free Wolf were born, we went a ton. We got back into our religious habits of going constantly, missing very infrequently at best. Yeah, isn't that fun? So, when you have kids at church, there's unfortunately some old people who will make life a living hell for you. Now, mind you, we had a truck ton of kids. For most of our marriage. Yes, you're yelling again. You want to be heard? We've had up to 7 kids now going to church. We get comments. Today at church, what brought this up? There was an old lady who sat in front of us who gave us the eye, right? The disapproving stare. Right? She was glaring. Why do we bring these kids here? To be fair, my kids are very well behaved in Mass. More on that in a minute. We'll speak about that now. I firmly believe that you should take your kids to Mass. You should make it fun. The Catholic Mass is one that is a little difficult at times to get through. It's a little difficult to handle, shall we say. There's a lot of rules. Yes, right? A lot of rules, a lot of sitting, a lot of standing. The Bible verses are complex, and the homilies usually aren't geared towards children. They're geared towards adults. So it is tricky to take kids to Mass, but we make it fun for them. We play games, we poke our kids, we make little comments about the Gospels and about the readings and whatnot. And our kids, again, we go there loving it and wanting to go. Our kids go there loving it and wanting to go. So we actually have a very well-behaved kids, but I'll be honest with you, I love seeing misbehaving children go. I love nothing more than the kids who are running around and screaming or crying or playing with toys or coloring books. It's an amazing thing. And the big reason is that a kid should be allowed to be a kid in church. Church is very much a place where it should be accepting and welcoming to families, because really it's families are how the church is going to survive. It's not these old folks who, again, have every right to be there, but it's not their church. And we've been confronted by it. This is my church. You don't belong in my church. It was quite interesting. We had a bit of a war at one church we went to. I won't name the church. I was going to, but we won't name the church. There was a group of elderly people. There's one gentleman in particular. He hated kids. And no one liked him. So there's always a pew open next to him, behind him, in front of him. So when we'd come in and we'd jump on that pew, he would move and he would make comments. And he, he would even approach the priest, right? He would say mean comments about us to the priest and the deacon. About how if we wanted to keep his money, we needed to leave, right? Our family needed to leave. We wanted to keep that old guy's money. I know, that's horrible. So, it was kind of funny. He caused a lot of problems. Well, there was another family who had a rather large... Yes, you're fine. Had a very large family. Fellow EMT, paramedic, firefighter. He had a lot of kids. And we kind of told him that this old guy has problems with infants, with kids. Yes. So we devised a plan. We first started with us intentionally finding them out, sitting by them. Both families would surround him. We'd actually meet before church to really try to get him out of his comfort zone, shall we say. Well, Yes, long story short, what happened? You weren't there, but what happened? He went and demanded an audience with the priest and demanded that all children, that we have either a children-specific mass or that all kids under the age of 18 are sent out of the church, or that he make a homily about the dangers of having children go wild in the church. Now, this priest, great friend of mine, we're awesome friends. He thanked the guy for his opinion. Yes, baby boy. And then Father wrote a very, very, very interesting homily. Where he talked about, again, hypothetical people. He said, let's take two people. Let's see if we can find out who is... well, hold on. I got to get baby boy something here real quick. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Baby boy was crying. I went to go get him a toy. And then one of my daughters offered to carry him around while I shoot my video. So I thanked her very much. And here we are. So anyway, after this elderly man put his foot down, told the priest that he needed to fix this problem, our friend the priest gave an interesting homily. He said, who's going to heaven? Who's the better Catholic? I believe he said, who's the better Catholic? He said, on one hand, we have a elderly gentleman, well-dressed every day at church, hasn't missed Mass in 30 years, gives thousands of dollars to the UPSCA, the Upper Peninsula Services Appeal. And, always sits up front and makes sure to pray the loudest. Or this single mother who kind of sort of comes to Mass, infrequent at best. Kids are total terrors, running around, yelling, screaming. Gives almost nothing to UPSCA. And although she's not necessarily messy, she's definitely disheveled. Clothes are not well picked out, makeup's not made, hair's not done, stuff like that. And Father went on and said, you would think I would be here and tell you that it has to be the old man who seems to be very faithful, comes to church very honestly, and does all the things the church prescribes, tithing, being well-dressed, attendance. But to know the truth, you should look closer. For you see, the old man, he never married. He has no real big commitments. I think he said he was married. We'll make him married. No big commitments. Although he gives thousands, he has hundreds of thousands of available dollars every year that he could give. Although he comes to Mass religiously, he doesn't regard his brothers and sisters in a sense of reverence. He doesn't help out with any of the ministry work of the church. He has feuds with his family that are irreverent. And although he attends Mass regularly, he very rarely prays outside of Mass, nor does he ever read his Bible. Here's a single mother. She has everything against her. She knows the second she wakes up on Sunday that nothing's going to go right. She knows her kids are going to be kids. They're going to run around. They're going to cause trouble. But in her heart of hearts, she believes in God. And doesn't go to church because she feels obligated to, but because in her heart of hearts, she knows it's the right thing. She knows going to Mass will lead to salvation. And although she's had a rough life, Jesus has always been there for her. She knows that when she gets in Mass, she'll be made fun of, she'll be teased, she'll be ridiculed. There'll be very little support in the church for her or her children. Old people will make snide little comments and remarks about her appearance or about her child's behavior. Some won't be quiet. Some will be right to her, telling her what a horrible Catholic she is and a worse mother. Some of the families who have older kids will look in disdain at how can her children be running around. But to her, that doesn't matter. To her, she knows the only person's opinion who matters is Jesus. And he knows her struggles. He knows that money's tight, time is tight. She does more than most people would for their children, sacrificing, putting herself second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth for her children. But she can still wake up in the morning and know that God loves her. Every night she falls to her knees in a deep and heartfelt prayer. She looks into her Bible for comfort and solace and for inspiration. If any of us would have had to face even a half of what she does just to make it to Mass, would you? If your car broke down, you burnt breakfast, your kids are being absolutely, kid-like. Not bad, just a lot. And you had to face all this on your own, would you still have the conviction, the character, the will, the belief that instead of staying home to maybe care for yourself or catch up on chores or to, if nothing else, let your psyche not be damaged by people making fun of you, both in front of your back and behind it, would you still pick to go to Mass? To participate in the greatest prayer in the Catholic Church? To meet Jesus, have him sit in your hand and enter into you? Would you? As you can probably tell, he went on a bit of a rant about how people struggle. And although we might not know someone's full story, that doesn't mean we should pass judgment on them. That woman, or anyone with kids for that matter, can easily come up with a reason why they don't want to go to Mass today. Name it. Stayed up too late with a crying baby. Don't want to be made fun of. Don't want to have my kid possibly destroy something in the church. Get tired of having to remind them to kneel, to sit up straight. It's expensive, paying for gas. No doubt, usually Masses are on lunchtime. You got to pay for food afterwards, especially where we were living. You had to risk roads and weather. You had to maybe deal with an uncomfortable homily about divorce. But yet, these people with children still come. How can we not look towards these people with children for inspiration to our own lives? I'm honest, there are single mothers that I know that attend our church. I'm in awe in them. That they still have the conviction, the dedication, the drive, the will to go to church when there are so many people out there who have every opportunity, every chance, every advantage to make it to Mass, but yet they choose not to. We call them affectionately Creasters in our church. They only come for Christmas and Easter. They make sure to sing the loudest and sit the closest up front. They always donate their tithing, thinking they're buying their way into heaven. But the truth is, in my belief, and I'll hold this belief, I think, until the day I die, someone with children putting up with all that heartache and headache who still says yes to God, even though there's enough in their life going on that they don't have to, I think that means more. I think that means more to him. Now, again, I don't know God's will, of course, neither do you. Anyone who claims they do, it's blasphemy. But I do firmly believe that it's those people who wake up in the morning and every fiber of their being tells them to just go back to bed, to sleep in, to do mass from home, right? Let's just watch it on the television. But with a tear in their eye and a deeper understanding and love for God, they drag themselves out of bed, wake their children up, make a breakfast, leave late, get there late, drive faster than they should, worry about the roads, wonder who's going to comment or mention something to them as they walk in the door. I absolutely love to hear crying during Mass. Ever since I heard that Baptist minister say, if your church isn't crying, it's dying, that struck a huge chord with me. The children are our future for the Catholic and Christian faiths, especially for Catholics. We need to find a way to draw younger people in. We can't just be the church of the elderly. It's one of my criticisms of Catholicism. We do a lot for shut-ins and retirees and senior citizens. We do almost nothing for our young families. And that needs to change. Not sure how. Traditionally, when you come up with a criticism, it is your de facto responsibility to take that on. Who knows? Maybe the Uper farmer family will try to figure if we can do something to really make sure that young families know they're welcome. Because again, a lot of our activities are geared towards older people. And if we're going to survive, if we're going to continue to preach the truth, that needs to change. I look forward to hopefully helping my church build and develop and get a better sense of what's important. If your church isn't crying, it's dying. Embrace those kids. Smile at the mother who seems to be in over her head. Walk up to her, tell her, I'm so glad you made it. Beautiful family, wonderful children. Look at the energy they have. I know you went through a lot to be here. Thank you for your sacrifices and saying yes to God. You didn't have to, but you chose to. And that is inspiring to me. That's what you need to tell them. Because in truth, if you don't have those struggles, their attending Mass might mean more. Again, I can't tell you what God's actually thinking, but in my mind, it makes sense to me. Anyway, folks, I'm going to go keep enjoying this Mayflower cigar. It is good. It does burn quite fast. That smooth draw makes it a kind of a quicker smoke. Coming up, we have, I think I'm going to start in 2025. We are going to do the Sideshow Cigar Series. That's right, I got the Sideshow cigars again. Very excited to smoke these. And I think we're bringing back war stories. If you notice, I do have a playlist set up with all war stories. There's like 56 of them. Man, that's a lot of war stories. There's a year's worth of over a year's worth of war stories out there. Kind of crazy to think that. So be on the lookout for that. Again, thank the parents in your church. 'Cause if your church ain't crying, it's dying. So yeah, be on the lookout for the Sideshow cigars. I'm gonna go finish this Mayflower. Enjoy this. It's actually growing on me. This raspberry beer is growing on me. And I gotta go check my smoker because I got some chickens smoking. So stay safe out there. We'll see you on the next one.